have you ever been in one of those situations where um, doing like the quote-unquote right thing,
Yeah.
uh, might end up costing you something?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, that's what we're going to be diving into today.
For sure.
The story of the honest woodcutter.
A classic.
It is a classic, and you probably already know the basic plot.
Yeah.
A guy loses his axe.
Right.
He ends up meeting a river god,
Yeah.
and then he has to make some choices.
Make some tough choices, yeah.
But we're going to go a little bit deeper than just that surface-level honesty is rewarded message.
Yeah, I think what's so fascinating about this story is that it really seems to tap into something universal, you know?
But for sure.
I mean, cultures all over the world have stories just like this, which, makes you wonder why is this idea
Yeah.
of struggling with honesty so compelling,
Right. It's a question that we ask ourselves probably almost every day in little ways.
Absolutely.
So let's set the scene here.
Okay.
We've got Ramu, our woodcutter.
Yeah.
And this isn't just some hobby for this guy.
Right.
His family depends on his work.
It's his livelihood. Yeah.
He's out by the river one day and
Uh-oh.
splash, his axe is gone.
Huge problem.
This isn't just losing your keys.
No.
This is like losing his ability to put food on the table.
Absolutely. And I think the story really emphasizes, the despair that Ramu feels,
Oh, yeah.
which, I think it really sets up, why the choices that he's about to make are so weighty. Like it's easy to be honest when you've got nothing to lose.
Right.
But what about when, the stakes are really high?
Absolutely. And that's where it gets really interesting.
There we go.
All of a sudden, this river god appears out of the water.
Oh, wow.
Now, depending on which version of the story you're reading, he's described a little differently.
Right.
Sometimes scary, sometimes friendly, but you always get that sense of power.
Yeah.
This is something ancient, something otherworldly,
It's almost like the embodiment of fate intervening.
What?
Offering Ramu not just a solution to his problem, but a test.
It's a test for
Yeah.
sure, and what a test this is.
Right.
So the river god dives down, comes back up, and what does he have in his hand?
What's he got?
A golden axe.
Oh,
I mean, talk about tempting.
come on.
This could change Ramu's life, solve all his problems.
Yeah.
And he looks at it and he says, no, that's not my axe.
Wow.
Simple as that.
It's so interesting that he doesn't even hesitate. There's no internal debate that's described or anything. It's almost like his honesty is instinctive,
Yeah.
deeply ingrained.
Yeah.
Which makes you think, are we born with that kind of moral compass, or is it something that we learn,
Yeah, that's a good question.
Big question.
It is a big question, and we could probably do a whole other deep dive on that.
Absolutely.
But the river god's not done yet.
Oh, no.
He goes back down, comes up again, and this time he's holding a silver axe.
Okay, still pretty good.
Still pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, he could at least sell that and be comfortable for a while.
For sure.
But Ramu, stubborn as ever,
Oh, wow.
says, nope, not mine either.
He is sticking to his guns.
He really is sticking to his guns. He knows what axe is his.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder, though, is there a part of us that thinks he's being a little foolish?
I mean, I think that's where the cultural context comes in, right? Because in some versions of this story, honesty is tied to honor,
Okay.
to not losing face in the community.
Oh, interesting.
So it's not just about, personal gain. It's
Yeah.
about reputation and social standing.
Okay, so it's bigger than just Ramu.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's about how he fits into his community.
His place in the world.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
So the river god, seemingly very impressed by all of this,
As he should be.
he finally brings up Ramu's plain old iron axe,
The one he actually lost.
the one he actually lost.
Yeah.
And this is where I think the story goes beyond just this reward and punishment system.
I agree.
Because the river god doesn't just give him his axe back.
Right.
He gives him all 3 axes. What? It's like, yeah, honesty is rewarded,
Yeah.
but excessively so.
Yes.
It's almost like, is the story trying to tell us to be honest, or is it more about like fantasizing about this unexpected fortune?
Yeah. It's almost too good to be true.
It is.
Which makes me think, maybe the real lesson here isn't about expecting to get, a windfall of gold and silver,
Right.
but more about recognizing the value of integrity,
Yeah.
even when it doesn't seem to pay off right away.
It's not about the immediate reward.
Absolutely.
It's about sticking to what is right.
It is. And the story does explicitly state that, honesty is always rewarded.
Okay.
But maybe the question that we need to be asking is, what kind of reward are we really looking for?
No, it's good.
Is it, material wealth,
Yeah.
peace of mind,
Yeah.
the respect of others.
The respect of the river god.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
But I think tying all of this back to our own lives,
Yeah.
we might not meet any magical river gods
Probably not.
offering us golden axes.
Right.
But we face these little tests all the time.
We do, for sure.
Do we cut corners at work?
Oh, yeah.
Do we exaggerate to make ourselves look better?
All the time.
Yeah. And these choices might not seem as dramatic as Ramu's,
Right.
but they shape who we are.
They really do. And I think that's where the lasting power of the story really comes from,
Okay.
It's that reminder that those choices, even the seemingly small ones,
Yeah.
they matter.
They do matter.
It's not about waiting for that big splashy reward,
Right.
but about recognizing the intrinsic value of living with integrity,
Yeah.
whatever that means to you.
Absolutely. So the next time you're, faced with a dilemma, maybe think back to Ramu
Yeah.
and his iron axe.
Good old iron axe.
It might help you decide what kind of reward is truly valuable to you.
Absolutely.
And that's it for this deep dive
Thanks for listening.
into The Honest Woodcutter.